A few days ago, I made a video titled Brzenk Arm Break Position, in which we looked at one of John's matches against Richard Lubke's. This is a match where John loses every single fundamental that he would like to hold on to. He is palm up, he loses his wrist flexor, his shoulder commitment, his pronation, just about everything. This is not a good position by John by any means. Nonetheless, John continues to fight from this position, demonstrating his will to win over his safety. Pretty cool. And I made the case in this video that this match against Richard may be the ugliest match John has ever pulled in. The match where John had the worst technique he's ever had before. But then you guys mentioned in the comments that John Brzenk versus Yoshinobu Kanai may be even worse. Now, John pulled Yoshi way back in 2005, and in this match, John won fairly easily. He pretty much takes full hand control, forces Yoshi to hold on to him, and goes sideways without too much trouble. John defeats Yoshi 2 times in a row on both sides of the table with that same high knuckle posting top roll. Great performance from John. Now, much later in 2016, John and Yoshi pulled again, and this match was very different. We see Yoshi head outside off the go and drop into the full King's move. Yoshi's wrist is going back, but it doesn't matter because he is controlling the high ground and his connection to the strap is very solid. We see John continuing to try climbing over the top of Yoshi's move, but it is not working. John cannot secure his cup or the high knuckle position. Yoshi's position is far more efficient than John's, so his endurance is effectively better and he takes this match. Yoshi does this twice in a row and takes the win. However, there is another match where these guys pulled. There is another match that is even more ugly than the 2016 and even closer. This is one of the closest matches in arm wrestling I've ever seen from John Brzenk. Out of straps, the slip looks pretty even, but if anything, I think John looks a little bit better. Inside of straps, we initially see John going for the high knuckle posting top roll, but he can't quite finish Yoshi. Yoshi is hitting the low hand open top roll and is putting a ton of pressure into John's cup. At some point, we actually see John switch to an inside move. He brings his shoulder forward and attempts to supinate and force Yoshi into a hook, but he can't quite do this. Notice how the round elbow pads allow Yoshi to drag his elbow further back than normal, causing him to put more back pressure into John's bottom 2 fingers. The match is slowly but surely swinging in the favor of Yoshi. At this moment, John can either surrender center table in order to keep his wrist or surrender his wrist in order to keep center. He tries to fight outside again for a second, but eventually he just gives up his wrist and brings his shoulder back into the match. And here we see a disgusting break arm position from John. The referee is pleading with John to twist his body back the other way as John is in full arm break position here. But he ignores the ref and just goes even harder into break arm position and manages to get the win. Crazy match and a crazy comeback from John Brzenk. He started out the match with pretty decent control, then lost everything he had completely, but managed to claw his way back to a victory using only his elbow integrity. It's hard for me to say if this was uglier technique than John used against Richard Lubke's, but it's at least close. Once again, we see John demonstrating his will to win over the risk of breaking his arm. John goes on to win the next round in this match. Yoshi sets up super high and John takes a lower grip and shoots forward and hooks him. I suppose Yoshi did not expect John to do this, as a posting top roll is not the optimal counter for a diving hook. Super cool match from John and Yoshi. Let me know in the comments if you think that this match was even uglier than the match between John and Richard. As I said, I think it's close, but I might have to say that John's match with Richard is even uglier, since in that match, John had less shoulder commitment and less pronation. Yoshinobu Kanai is an outstanding arm wrestler that often does not get enough recognition as compared to more popular pullers. But Yoshi has done something that almost no one else in arm wrestling has done. Even though John has more wins total against Yoshi, Yoshi did end up getting the last win on John. It's hard to find much information on Yoshi these days, but I wonder if it would be possible for John and Yoshi to have a rematch at some point. Let me know if you guys would like to see a rematch between Yoshi and John Brzenk, and who do you think would win if that match were to happen in 2024.